Welcome back. I'm Gary Parr,
And I'm Beth Ellicott.
and you are listening to the midweek version of Fiber Talk, the twice weekly podcast that we do for the needlework artists people,
Stabbers.
stabbers.
I'm
We haven't
stabbing
you-
this
we
week.
haven't done a stabber in ages. We got to start stabbing more. Okay, good one, good
I'm
one.
stabbing
On,
this week.
it's on the list. On the list. All right, this is a midweek podcast, so there's no Stitch Hour tonight. Well, we're only doing the Stitch Hours the first Wednesday, so Sunday is going to be Sue Reed, needlepoint designer Sue Reed, Counter Canvas designer Sue Reed. This will be the second time with her, so we had quite a discussion. Got into a little bit about getting more exposure for Counter Canvas work, and basically that's a tough nut to crack because the Counter Canvas designers are making enough money just doing classes online and teaching at
Wow.
seminars, so they aren't interested in retail. So we had a little discussion about that and other things. And then along with that, we did that recording. And then right after that, we had Sue and Cindy talking about Garden Path. Sue Reed's design that Cindy stitched her own colors. And so that's going to be on Patreon. So if you want to see that, become a Patreon member. But that was interesting because we got into a good discussion about manipulating overdyed threads.
And that's what Sue's known for. I mean,
Yes.
if you ever get a chance to take a class from her, that's what she is known for. Being
Yeah.
really teaching you how to use those threads. And then,
Yep.
of course, Cindy executes it beautifully.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Sue's known for it, and Cindy's a pro at it. Yeah.
Right,
Pretty
right.
much.
There you go.
So that'll be on the Patreon site. So I'll probably have that posted before Sunday's show. But if you're not a Patreon member, I invite you to join patreon.com/fibertalk, and there's a whole ton of stuff there. And then also coming up, this one's going to take some editing, so I've been putting it off a little bit. The one we did with Beth and Cindy about how to make a drum. And that's a long one because literally we take you through every step, but I got to go through and listen to the whole thing, which I don't normally do. But yeah, that's going to be a
It'll
good
be up.
one.
It'll be up eventually.
Yeah, no, we'll get it as soon as I can. Because, see, that's really good. I like that one. Yeah, it shows you how to make a drum, but the whole project is out of stash. You
Great.
didn't buy a kit. You didn't buy anything. It's all out of stash, but the techniques can apply to other finishing.
Right.
If you just open your mind a little bit. So it's a really good one for people who want to do some of their own finishing, some basic finishing. It really, I'm pretty excited about it. It's just, I literally am going to have to listen to the whole hour and a half of stuff, which is that's about a 4-hour editing job there. But I got to go through it. But I'm really excited about it because we really, pat ourselves on the back. We really did a good job of going through that. Cindy and I asking dumb guy questions while you explain what to do. I think it came out really good. So
Yeah, and it shows that you can use your stash and finish your own stuff. I think that's the idea.
right.
Let's finish our own things.
Yeah. So when if you're a Patreon member and you see that, and you don't lock in on just making the drum. Look at it from a perspective of, all right, these are techniques I can use to make a pillow, a little ornament, or whatever. It's not that different. It's not that much of a stretch from making the drum. And then look at what we've talked about a million times, because you just took some Quaker motifs and stitched them
Right.
on a piece of cloth and
Right.
made this thing. And we've talked a million times about taking motifs and elements out of different charts and putting your own thing together. No designing required. Just space them out and do it. And yeah, because if you look at it, well, I can't use your stash as an example, but I mean that's not even.
Yeah, yeah, because I have inventory, as Robin
Right.
would say.
Yeah, you're that next level, that inventory level. But for a majority of people, that's a zero cost
Mhm.
project and finishing. Zero cost
Right.
because you already
Right.
have all the stuff. Yeah.
Right. Or it's a cheap buy. Like you don't have mat board. Well, mat board you get at Hobby Lobby or Michael's, and
Right.
actually sometimes you can even ask them in the framing department. I know our framer in our needle our needlework shop. She was a needlepoint shop. But our needlework shop used to frame things, and so she'd have all the little squares from the center
Oh.
of mats that she cut out, and she would save them. So when people came in, if they wanted some mat boards, she would just give them those, and a lot of them were nice size.
Mm-hmm.
And to cut out circles or to frame your own little piece to make a flat fold. And she just like they would be trash, and she hated just throwing them away because they're good, but
Right.
she wasn't finishing those things, and she needed them out of her shop. So she just give them to people. So you
Now,
could
see,
ask.
that's good to know. So that's basically like the lumber yard where they have the scrap bucket, and you can just go
Right.
and just take stuff. Yeah. Oh, there you go.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So if you're doing
Right.
small stuff, you can just walk in there and ask them and paw through that and grab a few, and you're out the door. Yeah. So,
Right.
yeah. Always ask if they want some money first. But
Right. 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 You
yeah.
can ask, and they might say, "Yeah, we'll charge you a small bit," but it's still better than getting a huge sheet of
Right.
mat board.
Right.
Shop.
Right. So, that's really cool. Patreon. That's on the Patreon. It will be on the Patreon site, but it's just like I said, it's much more than just how to make a drum. It really is and we really took a lot of time to detail how everything was done, and Beth ended up with a beautiful drum out of it, and yeah.
Right. And if
Yeah.
you have questions, just ask after we post it. Ask them in the Patreon page.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I think we even said that if there's questions that generates another show, we'll do it. Yeah.
Right.
So.
Absolutely.
So that's a Patreon. Now the Tour de Broderie. This is we're doing this Tuesday, and it's going up Tuesday night. So the Tour de Broderie, our Tour de France shows will continue all the way through Sunday. Now, no more days off. So all the way through Sunday, when the tour ends at 10:30 Eastern time. So join us for that. And it's going up Tuesday, and then Wednesday, if you listen to it Tuesday night, Wednesday, Beth is going to be with us with her ice dyeing, because we had a little brief discussion about your ice dyed fabric. And so she's going to show us some of that, and we'll talk a little bit about that. We're not going to spend the whole show on it, but ice dyeing is so cool. It's such a cool technique. Whoever figured that out,
Yeah. Yeah. It's a lot of fun to do.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun.
And then Gina Barrett will be with us Thursday. Gina B's Silkworks, and we did a show with her early June. Did I write that down? I wrote it down. No, I did not.
It was June.
It was June, early June, whatever. Gina B Silkworks. So that's a site to go visit, and then Gina will be with us Thursday, and so you can ask her questions, and we'll just have fun with her. And can I just say, Jessica's been with us every day, and so that's a blast. Jessica is just a ton of fun. But the days that we've had Paula Lima with us, what a hoot. Man, what a great lady. Yeah, that was so much fun. Yeah.
And I'm going back and rewatching some of those, so it's kind of fun. Even if you can't join when she's doing live, they're fun to go back and watch. To see what you guys have been doing and talking about. And laughing. It makes me laugh. You guys are kind of funny.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Yeah. So huge thanks to Paula for joining us on those days, and double huge thanks to Jessica. That's been so much fun being with her online. And there've been a couple days where no stitching, all racing. That's been really good. So. So join us for those, and they are recorded. They're in the live section of our YouTube channel. So if you go there and you don't see them, look at the top and where it says live, they're all there. So you can listen to all of them. And it's maybe 20% cycling racing, except for a couple days where it was almost 100%, but maybe 20%. And then the rest is a lot of stitching. We got to see some historical things from Jessica, and really, really good. And of course, Jessica is just tremendous. Yeah. So that's fun. So be sure and catch that. And then we'll be back now after our break, August 6th for a Stitch Hour. So back on August 6th. And like, subscribe, share, comment, all those things. They help. and on all Instagram, Facebook, wherever, YouTube,
YouTube. And I almost said Yoo-hoo.
Yoo-hoo, yeah,
Yoo-hoo,
yeah.
whatever.
There's a sugar filled soda, Yoo-hoo.
Yeah, yeah.
Ooh, yeah.
Oh, I couldn't do that. Ugh.
No, no, those things. That and what is it, Mountain Dew? Those two.
Oh no, I
Oh
can't do
man,
Mountain Dew at all. Oh
that'll get
no.
you. That'll get you wired.
Yeah, that's not what I need. No.
Yeah. But no, please subscribe and link and share, especially the sharing part. Now, like last Sunday with the red dress, please share that one. Let people know about that. Boy, I tell you, that's a story and a half. Yeah, yeah.
I'm still playing catch up, so that one's on my playlist too. So
Okay, all right.
yeah.
Yeah, and she'll be back now. She'll be back at the end of August. I just got to schedule it, and then we're going to do another show and just talk about the mechanics of putting that dress together, and getting the embroidery, and yeah, oh man, I got to know about that too. But what a story! And order the book. Order the book. Yep. And if you order stuff, please mention Fiber Talk. Tell them.
Right, right.
Tell them it's our fault. Yep.
Yep. Always. We'll take the blame every single time.
Every time. Yep. So, yeah, there we go. There's all the stuff. Portafett. What got into you? You've been pounding away at that. It's not done yet, though, right?
Oh no, it's right here. So, and do you have a photo? Yeah,
I
there
have
you
the photo
go.
right there.
So I am working. You can kind of see my needle. It's kind of to the left of the rabbit. That was a blank space in Portafett, and I couldn't stand it. To see the rabbit on the left hand side.
Yeah, here in just a minute. Let me get a pointer set up here.
Yeah. So anyway, I've been
right here.
I've been working along. Yeah. So there's the rabbit, and if you go to the left, that's where my needle is.
Oh yeah.
Stuck in there. Yeah. And that spot was blank on Portafett, and I just never liked it. So I thought, oh, I'll just put a little motif there. So I started working on it. And then over to the right, she had, I think she says, Portafett, which is the title of the piece, and then it's something in French like for my aunt or something. And I never liked that. So in that huge blank space there, I'm going to be adding more motifs. I've already changed the right border over there.
In this area here, for folks who are listening. I'm gonna. We've got several photos that we need to refer to in this one. So for folks who are listening, I'll make a slideshow on the page for this podcast, so you can see the things. But Portafett, just so people know, Portafett is a huge sampler. It's a huge, mostly alphabet sampler. That was the sampler of the month. 4 years ago at the Attic.
Yeah, 2020, 2021. But it was, so I'm doing mine on 5263 Sycamore Seed Pod with Swasser Fiend. So it's a huge piece of linen that I'm working on, but it's tiny, tiny stitches. Yeah. So I just decided that I needed to fill the space better than what I think the stitcher originally did. So I started changing things. There's a little squirrel. I changed the initials from whatever initials she had. And then I'm going to fill in, there's like a blank space that I'm going to fill in with more motifs just to fill it all in. And then I'm seriously debating on whether to make it into a box. And then to do that, I will have to put interfacing on the back, see me iron with my hand, interfacing on, and then
can you demonstrate that again, just so we can see your technique?
Iron, you got to iron it. But actually, I should go slower, because if you're ironing, you should go with interface. Go 15 seconds on each spot.
So you don't do the left-right thing that you just demonstrated. So you demonstrated incorrectly then.
Oh, that's correct. You should just put down and steam it. But so we have the Cindy and I. It's Cindy's fault actually for this one. The Color Waves boxes. So if you look, you have this long area that that's one piece of fabric, or can be one piece of fabric. And I have Portafett right here. So if I wrapped portafed around it,
Yeah.
it would just be right. But I'd have to cut it up, and I'd have a whole lot of extra that wouldn't be anything, right? Because it's not that high.
Yeah.
So I'm debating on how to finish this, but I really am thinking about cutting it up and making a box because Lori Mann showed us on Patreon,
Right.
our Patreon Zoom, what she had done. She had cut up. It was a Quaker motif, I think
Yeah.
she originally cut
Let
up.
me back up. So what we're talking about is Colorway Arts. Colorway
Mm-hmm.
Arts. So it's colorwayarts.com is a website, and Cindy and Beth have done a handful of these. They have these kits for making fabric covered boxes of all kinds. I mean, it's an amazing array of things, and please mention us if you buy.
Mm-hmm.
But it was Lori who showed up, and she just cut up a piece of needlework that she did. She just literally cut it up, and instead of putting just fabric on, she put that on the box. It was so
Right,
cool. Oh,
right, right. And so I knew I was never going to hang Portafed. It was never going to go on my wall. So when I saw Lori's, I was like, oh,
uh-huh.
brilliant. I've got to do
Yeah,
this. I've got to.
yeah,
And so I think what I'll do is I'll measure and see how much fabric I've made. And so I know what size of box I can put it on
yeah,
because I have to make several cuts to make it so, and I'll do it on the exterior. I might be able to make a couple boxes from it,
yeah, yeah,
but it gives you a different way to finish things. And let's say you're like, oh, Beth, I could never cut a piece of needlework up, but you could do a plan where you don't cut into your stitching. So it's just math. You know you've got this whole long length. You just take that measurement, you say, and then you do your basting lines and you say, okay, there's where my stitching needs to go. It has to be this long, and then
mm-hmm.
it'll fit on my box. So that's another option for finishing because that I think is a problem. Framing is expensive,
Yeah.
and this is just a different way to finish things to
But
make
now,
into
didn't
boxes.
Lori on her box, didn't she actually take on at least a couple of panels, take a piece of her stitching and put it on board or whatever, and then mount it on the box? So fabric
Right,
underneath, and then she mounted it on. So that added some dimension to it. I mean, there's several ways to do this.
right. So here, this is my stitch story box, and I've got tea in here now. So this is embroidery stitch stories, which is printed on. We did an interview with her, and I can't remember her name, but these are fun to stitch. And I thought, well, this would be great. I just kind of did a circle cut, and then I had made the box, and I just glued this on top. It was a great way to use. I knew I wasn't going to hang this um, in a hoop in my kitchen,
Right.
but this way I can use it. So I made this box,
Yep.
um, and I just put the stitching, mounted it right on top, which is the other way you could do it. If you had something small, you could do a square. I obviously, to make it the size of the box, mount
Yeah.
it right on top of the fabric. So that
Right.
would be another way to do that.
Yeah. And so then you have tea in there.
Right. Tea.
So it's a kitchen theme, and then you by doing that, then you're putting your tea bags in there. Yeah.
Correct.
The new
Correct.
ones, not the used ones. Just to be
That's right.
clear.
No, no, not the new, not the
Just to be
used ones.
clear.
We do
So
art with the used ones.
just don't want anybody making a mistake that they'll
No,
regret.
no,
But
never.
that colorway arts, you think, well, I've got this thing, but will they have a box that I can use? Probably, because
Probably.
there's a boatload of different kinds of boxes and sizes, a boatload of them.
Right, right.
It's amazing, yeah, and they're not expensive.
I don't think so. Not for having the chipboard all cut the right size.
Yeah,
So if you take some of her classes, she teaches you how to cut the chipboard the correct size if you want to make a different size than what she provides. So she gives you that opportunity.
yeah,
But it's just a different way to finish, and you're really just using Elmer's glue.
Yeah.
Which I know might horrify people, but I'm like, okay, I'm going through my mother-in-law's things right now, and you're looking at things and you're thinking, okay, nobody wants this, and it's like fabric or whatever, and you're thinking,
Yep.
it's going to go to Goodwill, it's going to go to the landfill,
Yep.
it. This is, at least I will use it and enjoy it if it's
Yeah.
in a box. If this is, I mean, my kids, they find this 20 years down the road like this, it's going to be thrown away just as easily
Right.
if it's like this. But this way, I get to enjoy it a little
Right.
more.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, because something like portafette, I mean, unless you have a lot of wall space, more times than not, that's just going to go in a drawer. And
Right.
I had the experience of stitching it, and that's it. And then then when the kids get a hold of it, yeah, it's going right in the trash. Yep.
Right. Right. And it's
Yeah.
just because it become, we do a lot of stitching. We do a lot.
Yeah.
So, and I enjoy stitching. I enjoy the motion, the joy of the stitching. But it's like, after a while, I don't want to burden my kids with all this stuff
Right.
either.
Right. Yeah.
So
Yeah, Lori gave us a real good path to a completely different way to use it. You just have to get over that little psychological hump of literally taking scissors to your needlework. Ouch.
I know. But it's like, I, I I've had the fun of stitching it. Now what am I going to do with it?
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Now, all right, for something like that, and I don't want to get bogged down in this, but I do have a question. So, if you're taking portafette and you're going to put it on a box, do you then take another piece of cloth and put over portafette and map out where you're going to cut? Is it
Right.
it's worth doing some kind of a doodle cloth attempt to see how the fabric's going to lay?
Well, I'll put interfacing on the back, because this is, I think it's the glue will seep right through if you put the glue right on it. So it needs to be backed with something so the glue won't go through to the front. But then, what I'll do is she sends you poster boards that are cut to the size, and that's what you do the outer gluing of. And I'll lay those out.
Oh.
And if I can't see it, I will trace it on the back with pencil, and then flip it over and look to make sure it's correct. So, because you you want it pretty straight. You don't want wonky lines.
Yeah. So you use the panels top, side, bottom. Well, not the bottom, but top and sides and front and back. So you use the panels as your forms then.
Right. But I'd do something like that. I would do. I would put them on top and say, okay, this is where it's going to be. Does that look like that would look good? Do I want something else? Do I need to move them around a little bit?
Okay.
Because it's basically a big piece of fabric, and you're fussy cutting it.
What we would call it. Okay. Yeah.
So, and I have acrylic rulers, which quilters use, and that would be the other thing I would do. I'd measure the piece of poster board and then look through my ruler and say, oh, that looks like that would be a nice long length. That's going to be pretty wrapped around the box.
Yeah.
Because generally you do have at least one good long length around her boxes to put them on.
Well, and portafette, the way that is designed is ideal for that kind of thing. You could get one long strip that could wrap around at least 3 sides easily. Yeah.
Right, and that's what you want. You generally only do 3 sides on her boxes. I think the 4th side you do have to do something else.
Yeah.
So then you could fussy cut that out too, and I think I could almost get a couple boxes out of it.
Yeah, probably could. Yeah, it's big enough. Yep.
It's huge.
Yeah, it is.
Huge.
Yeah.
It's a blanket. And if I decide that, if I look at it again and I think, I'm not going to make a box, I make a project bag out of it, which is the other thought I originally thought of doing. I know now that the next cross stitch piece that's purely cross stitch that I use for mindless stitching, I will map it out. I will take basting thread and say, okay, so let's say I was going to do this box.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the long piece, though. It's the front and the bottom.
Yeah.
So, what was it? Yeah, I think it is the bottom too. Um, that would be one big piece, and I would map that out with stitching. Yeah, I would let the stitching be on the bottom because it wouldn't matter. People would pick it up and look at it.
Right.
And then I would map out this
Around
because
the
this is two
front and
different
sides. Yeah.
front and sides because it's two different directions. So you want to make sure everything's directionally looking correct, going
Right.
around the box.
Right.
And so you could do a little planning, and then you wouldn't be cutting into your stitching.
Right. Right.
But
Yeah. Well,
then,
that just now looking at that box, that's basically two U shapes
right,
shoved together. Yeah.
correct,
Yeah.
correct.
Okay.
So you need something. What would this be? It would be like a long horizontal
Right.
piece around, like portefeuille is, but portefeuille wouldn't go around the top like this.
Right.
It would look funky if you did the long alphabet because it doesn't fit that way,
Right.
right? It would look sideways. So that's why I'm thinking you need to plan it.
Right.
Do a little planning beforehand.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But lots of stitching space and lots of time to do it. And then because you think of all the samplers or all the patterns we have that you're like, yeah, I like that, but I'm never going to hang that on the wall.
Right.
It gives you the opportunity to make your own piece of fabric.
Yeah.
Through stitching.
And that's just it. She has so many different types of boxes and folders and notebooks and all kinds of things that you could, because I mean, there's a couple of like book or folder things that you could do and have, inside have family pictures or, whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So
Gives lots of opportunities.
yeah, so Colorway Arts, colorwayarts.com is the place to check those out. It's well worth it. Well, we've talked about it on several shows, but yeah, highly recommend. And Beth and Cindy, like I said, have done a number of them, and the quality is top notch. Right? I mean, yeah.
And I've had no problems putting them together. So
Yeah.
even when I've made a mistake, I've been able. She gives you instructions on how to fix things if you make little mistakes. So
yeah. So,
they're excellent.
Yeah. And those make, you talk about gifts.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Good
they
gifts.
Nice little gifts.
Yeah.
Nice gifts.
So check that out. And then, we were going to talk about caskets, but I think I want to do a separate video on that.
Okay.
I think we want to do a video because Mary Dorter has done some beautiful work on her casket, and you're making progress. And then Alicia Clark did a whole box covered with So let's do a separate video on that so we can take the time to really explore that, because there's some beautiful work there, and the whole casket thing is starting to move forward. So yeah. So we'll save that. So watch for that in the near future. That be a video on caskets, because yeah, cool stuff. And then you're just a machine over there. The Habsburg lace thing. Now that's the one Cindy did, right?
Right. She's the one that made that the needle cover.
Yeah.
The needle book. And I'm telling you, that is a great mindless sitting in the front of the TV, your brain is fried thing to stitch. I would highly, and it's by Tanya Berlin, and it comes with instructions on how to finish. Okay, so the one on the left is my Habsburg lace piece. I use color complements threads and then one DMC, and then I had some beads. She called for, I think she called in the top one. All of my little bits are in the center. And she had hers kind of off-centered, and I never really liked that. So I just went ahead and put something in the center of all of them. And it made me happy.
Yeah.
And I don't remember how I changed it, but I had some beads that I thought, oh, these beads look good. I'm going to put them in. Big, huge beads. And yeah, I've got to assemble it, but I can't assemble it until I get the scissors case, which is the thing to the right. And that's by Carol. I can never say her last name. She passed here within the last year or so. Carol in Engel Higginbotham.
Oh, Higginbotham, yes. Mm-hmm.
So she had a chapter project that you could get through A&G. It was in their chapter book. And I think Cyberporters did it in 2018. And I'd been looking at it and thinking I really ought to do that. So when I cut my canvas to do the Habsburg lace piece, I made it big enough to put the scissors case in. So I was forced to do both at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
So, and again, there's a lot of nun stitch around the scissors case, totally mindless stitching. You just have to make sure you've counted correctly, and away you go.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a great project. It's a PDF download, and that's another stash piece.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So I know the scissors case. I don't think you can get it anymore unless your chapter already had offered it through A&G. So it's an A&G chapter project, and I don't know if it's still available in their chapter books because since she passed it go back to the family.
Yeah.
The design. But it's a design your own.
Yeah. The needle book you can get that from Tanya, all the directions, finishing directions. And we've seen Cindy's version with the wool pages. It came out just great, didn't it? I mean, it just came out great. So, and to find scissors holders, there's all kinds of patterns. Just, look for it. You can find all kinds of patterns and then match them up. And yeah.
Right. Again, and I'm just using threads from my stash. I know you guys teased me because you said it looks like I was using the Phoenix colorway. And I thought, well, maybe I am, but I had those threads in my stash before she even designed that.
Yeah.
So I've had them for quite a while.
But that's a nice project, and boy, Cindy's example that's a needle holder book that's one. Give me that. It's beautiful. Yeah.
And the fact that it looks so. The finishing is interesting because it does such a neat spine.
Yeah.
Finishing technique on it.
Yeah.
So I got to hurry and finish my scissors case so I can assemble them both and have something to show.
Yeah. And Cindy did a smart thing. She put extra pages in the needle book so that because nothing worse than getting it all done, going to put your needles in and go, oh, I could use 2 more pages. Yeah. So, very very cool. I like your colors too. Yeah. So,
Thanks.
Yep. This was interesting. Tim Buckheim, longtime participant in the Fiber Talk things, made a comment. Was it on the Zoom, Patreon Zoom, when he did that?
Yes.
About taking classes. It was a casket. Taking classes in different techniques allows you to learn things that you can apply elsewhere. I think that's why I miss in-person classes. You learn so much when the teacher is right in front of you.
Right. And that was, so he said that he'd taken a class from Eileen Bennett here. I don't know if it was recently. He was doing that drawn thread piece.
Yeah.
And Eileen Bennett, of course, is I don't know, what would you call her? Like a master,
She's a master.
Craft.
She's a master.
Needleworker.
Yeah.
And he said he learned something in that class that he was able to apply somewhere else. And I think that's what intrigued me about his comment. It's like you learn things no matter what technique you're taking in, because he does caskets. He's doing this pulled work piece. I don't know, does he do needlepoint? He does all sorts of things. Right. And, a man of all talents. And but he's taking the class. He's taking a class and learning something new that you apply to your favorite technique, I guess.
Yeah.
That's what I guess.
Yeah. No, it was an interesting comment, and it goes. I found it interesting because it goes with my belief that you're a better stitcher. This is the one hobby craft where I think you become a better stitcher if you try different techniques for the same reason. you learn things with a different technique that then you can apply or help you adjust on your base technique, your favorite
Right.
that you do the most of. I think there's a lot of validity in trying other techniques because I think you become overall a better stitcher.
I think so.
Yeah, because if you're just doing cross stitch, after a while, yeah, you can get pretty good at making crosses. But if you go and do, say, counter canvas work or embroidery or white work, you learn things about manipulating threads that I think come back to cross stitch, or you start to say, wait a minute, this doesn't have to be all X's. I
Right.
learned a stitch over here that would really make this particular element look a whole lot better. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, no, he has a good
Right.
point. Yeah.
Right. And or even how to, the threads. Some of the threads we have such a wide array of threads that we can use nowadays. From the silk ribbon
Right. Yeah.
to the all the silk perlé, silk calva that's out there, silk goblins, the goblins that Access Commodity puts out, all the neon rays, all those threads, they require a little bit of technique, right?
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
can't just throw them on. You need to know how to use them properly, in a way, properly, air quotes, and how to get the best shine, the best use out of them. But if you're taking a cotton canvas piece, some of those threads you use a lot in there, and then you can say, oh wait,
Yeah.
I can apply this somewhere else.
Yeah. Yep.
You know,
Yeah. No, it's he makes an excellent point. And if you're an A&G member, one of the things they have in the magazine each time is they'll have two stitchers do usually a painted canvas and how
mm-hmm.
they interpret it. And in the most recent one, it was a painted canvas. It was like a house with flower boxes and fence, the typical whatever. But the interpretation, one did a real heavy use of ribbon embroidery.
Right.
And the other was more conventional needlework, needlepoint stitching. But there, if you'd taken a ribbon embroidery class, how many times in a needlepoint or a cross stitch piece would a little ribbon embroidery add some dimension if you knew how
Right.
if you knew how to use the ribbons and make those kinds of stitches? Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Right. Right.
So
And it just
yeah,
gives you a whole nother tool in your toolbox
right.
to use.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I,
No,
I I think that's the thing, though. I think taking classes with in person too makes a difference. I think when you're with a teacher, I know we do a lot of different techniques, but I do miss, because my guild used to have more in person classes.
mm-hmm.
Um, when you have a teacher there with you, sometimes something comes, you're doing something and they realize, oh wait, they don't know how exactly to manipulate that thread. They don't know how to make this so your front and your back look neat, whatever. And
Right.
they're looking at you stitch and they're like, wait, let me give you a pointer.
Mm-hmm.
But you can't get if you're in an online class because they can't see your work so
Right.
much.
Right. And you could make a strong argument that as we move more and more to online classes, because it's easier for designers, because they don't have to travel, that element is fading away to a degree.
Mm-hmm.
Where to get on in-person classes, you have to go to a national seminar or be a member of a guild where they have the money and the wherewithal to have teachers come in, and
Right.
we're losing a little bit of that, or be near a shop that has an active class schedule, and not very many shops can do that.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
we start to lose that in-person thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And to I know some teachers are trying to get around that by having you being able to look um, through WhatsApp.
Oh.
That's how Hand and Lock gets around it. You send pictures through WhatsApp so the teacher can look and say, "Oh, maybe I was doing their flocking class," and they're like, "Well, maybe you needed a little more glue, or you need to let that dry a little more, or you did it, you know,
Uh-huh.
oh, that looks perfect,
Yeah.
Um, whatever it was, their critique was. And I thought that was a great option too, because then they could see your work real time.
Right. Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
think that's that you get that immediate feedback, which
Mm-hmm.
is what you want as a student and want to give as a teacher.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
So I mean, we're in a shifting environment with classes,
mhm.
because it's really, and I've not taken any online classes, but I'm sure that there's teachers who are really good at it and teachers who make it work.
Mhm.
But yeah, because there's that, and there's that follow up extra element where I have questions after the fact that
Right.
teachers stay on top of it, and I'm sure there are some who get a little lax in their
Right.
responses. So yeah, yeah. We have been promoting. I wanted to bring this up because we've been talking about this quite a bit in the Tour de Broderie shows. There's two that we know of, and I'm sure there are others, and if there are, let us know. There are two Ukraine designers that you should be aware of. And Jean Ross Mulbach wrote to me, and Katerina, known as the Stitchy Princess on Etsy, she does cross-stitch designs, some very nice ones. They're all PDF downloads. And she had written to Jean that because of the constant bombing, it was difficult for her to do her normal promotions for her designs, and so her sales were falling off. And that's the money that she's able to bring in to help her and her family during Putin's invasion. So Etsy, Stitchy Princess, help her out. And even if you're never going to stitch them, it's a PDF download. Buy one or two or three or four and help her out. How can I help people in Ukraine who are under just incredible duress for what now going on 3 years, 4 years, ridiculous amount of time for nothing they did, said, or anything, just because that guy's ego had to have more land. Help her out. The Stitchy Princess on Etsy, just put in Stitchy Princess, it'll come up and you'll recognize. And then the other one that Jessica Grimm had pointed out to us is Olga Fishchuk, Fishchuk, Katruzha. I'm butchering these names, but Olga, Fishchuk, and then Katruzha, Katrusya Studio. And she's under buymecoffee.com. Buymecoffee.com. And so she's another one that take a look and support her if you can. And that Buy Me Coffee, that's one where you can actually just send some money as a support thing, right? You don't have to really,
Right.
if you don't want to buy her things. But those two are two that we have brought up several times in the Tour de Broderie, and I wanted to bring it up here to help these people. What can you do? What can I do for Ukraine? That. We can't send weapons, but we can send money through needlework to help
Mhm.
these people. I'm sure at some point just buy food. So
Right. Support families.
yeah, for their families. Yeah, so help them
Mhm.
out if you can. Check out their work, and like I said, even if you're never going to stitch one, to buy a couple of charts just to put some money in their pockets is a way to do it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So, yeah. Card decks.
Ooh.
It's become kind of a thing now. Okay. All right. So we did a show a while back with Sarah Resnick, just yarn and Zolly makes, and that was the Palette Scout card deck. And
Yeah.
so these are cards. It's a whole bunch of cards that help you select colors.
Mhm.
All kinds of colors, and then on the back are complimentary and all the things. But you can figure out colorways. So it's a whole box of these colors, and it's very very cool and a good way if you want to do your stash, a good way to figure out colors. You got a new chart, you don't like the colors, you like the chart, figure out the
Right.
thread colors. So that's one that's come up. and that's at Zollie, Zollie. If you look up Zollie Makes, and that was a May 2nd show we did with Sarah Resnick, and so the Palette Scout is the deck of cards, and then Jessica cost me some money the other day. Susan Briscoe's Ultimate Sashiko. Is that how we say it? Sashiko?
I've heard it Sashiko.
Sashiko. I think that's right. I'm wrong. The Ultimate Sashiko card deck. And this is another. Oh, I was showing Marga and I couldn't hardly get the box open. The box is so good. But it's here we get it. Okay, so there's comes with a instruction thing how to do Sashiko. All right, that's on top, and then it's this whole stack of cards that show all of these or not. I don't know if it's all. I shouldn't say all.
No, I know it's not going to be all. That's going to be because I've read a book on it.
Okay.
Yeah, so there's a lot. There's a lot of patterns. But they're very cool.
It gives the name, like this is Masu Sashi, square measure Sashiko. So it gives the name on the card.
Does it give you the stitch direction?
Huh?
Does it give you the stitch direction?
Yep, on the back. On the back. So you see what it's going to look like, and then on the back is the stitch direction, and that's probably the biggest key is knowing where to go so you come up in the right spots, and a little description of how to do it. And there's, I don't know how many cards, but it's a ridiculous number of cards that you get in this box. It was like $20, I think, something like that. So it's Jessica's fault. This is Masubi Kiko, connected tortoise shell. There you go.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. All the information on the back. And so here's what happens. All right? Here's what happens. So I want the box just because I want to see them. I want to own it. I want to play with it a little bit. Well, what is it? Snuggly Monkey. Is that right?
Probably.
Snuggly Monkey. Yeah. That's where I went. So I looked him up because I forget where Jessica could get them in Europe, but in the States, Snuggly Monkey was the place. And I've done business with them before. An excellent source for the whole line of Cosmo threads. Excellent source. Ship immediately. Really good. So I went there, and I got the card deck. Well, you can't stop there, right? No. Now I got to have some threads, the official threads, and then I got to have the needles. And then you come along at your mother-in-law's memorial service, so I have needles from you and some patterns from you because you weren't going to do it. So then a gift from Beth. But, I'm sitting there. I just wanted the box of cards. Well, what good's the box of cards without some official thread and needles? And I didn't know if I needed the needles or if I had needles that would do the job, but I'm not going to take a chance for $5. So then you can't stop. So I get, all right, I want some threads. Well, conveniently for its customers, the Snuggly Monkey, is that right? I keep wanting to say Cuddly Monkey.
No, a Snuggly Monkey.
Snuggly Monkey. Yes, snugglymonkey.com. Conveniently, needles, official needles. Conveniently, they have colorways of threads.
Oh.
So
nice.
What could I do but get the blue colorway?
Right, absolutely. How sad
no choice.
If you didn't. Yes, you need that. Yeah.
There was no choice. I had to get that. Crinkle, crinkle,
Those
crinkle.
are beautiful threads.
Look at that. With a couple of overdyes. Yeah, well, I don't care, but yeah. So I had to get that.
Okay, so what are you going to do for fabric?
That I hadn't sorted out yet.
Okay, because you can use, if you feel the fabric that's in those kits, it feels like a muslin.
Yeah.
So I think Jessica gave you some muslin.
So I can just use that muslin then.
Yes, because it'll be about the same weight. So just feel it. Just feel and see if it's I think the stuff in those kits was a little thin. We actually did that for a guild project in
Okay.
my local guild. And my kids, I made one too, but I don't know what happened to the one I made. I can see the ones that my kids made over the other
Yeah.
side of the room.
Yeah.
But it was a fun project. We did it one year, and you don't need. Well, I'm glad you got the threads, but you don't need the threads. You could have used. I think we used
Beth,
brocot.
it was a
Not
beautiful
brocot,
Beth. It was
floss.
a beautiful collection of blue thread. What could I do? You know.
Add to the inventory. You guys tease me. You needed to add it to the inventory.
Right.
But
I was stuck.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. It would have
Yeah.
been so sad if you hadn't bought them.
Right.
But yeah, it's basically the fabric that they sell those pre-printed things on, which is what you have in those kits.
Right.
It's pre-printed on there. Is like one of the U.S. thin muslins. It's not, yeah, that one with the dragonfly. And I'm sure there's an instruction in there which direction you need to go to do those. And those are coasters. And then the other is a pillow.
So this dragonfly one is a pillow.
The big one, yes.
These are ones that came out of Beth's inventory.
Yes, and I when you guys started talking about that, I was like, somebody needs those. They can leave my house and get out of my house and no longer live there. They can live in Gary's house.
Well, actually, so basically, I could just gain some experience. Oh yeah, I see. It's a whole thing. Yeah. So I could just gain some experience just doing this, just doing running stitch through the whole thing. Yeah.
Right. Right.
Okay.
There is sort of like a directionality that they want you to go so you don't back up on yourself.
Oh,
That's
okay.
part of the challenge of it.
Okay.
But it's not absolutely positively. And if you used one of your pretty blue threads on that, that would be gorgeous.
Absolutely, I will. Oh yeah, here's the whole instructions in Japanese about how to do it. Yeah.
Yeah, I figured you'd have no problems with it.
No, I read Japanese. I read it better than I speak it. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, good.
So I'm good.
But there's pictures too, because I saw them.
That's how I read Japanese. I look at the pictures. Yeah, that's how that works.
Or Google Translate.
That's how it works. So that's Jessica's fault. Okay, so the box of Sashiko cards from Snuggly Monkey, I'm sure you can get it elsewhere. Just that's where I got it from, and it came immediately. They got it out right away. I mean, they were on vacation at the time I ordered it, but the day they got back, they shipped it. But these cards are very cool, so that's a good thing to play with, and that's a good travel, sitting in the car kind of thing.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, and then I think it was Robin talked about the palm thimble.
Right, and I know I have one that came in a kit. It might have come in that one little dragonfly coaster kit, but it somehow got separated, and I haven't been able to re-find it. Yeah, so, and I never used it when I did Sashiko.
Yeah. But Elaine Warren sent a picture, and when they said palm thimble, I thought it was some kind of a glove type thing. But it's not. It's just a ring of leather you put on that has a tab that goes down toward your palm.
Correct.
So
and kind of rock the needle, like if you do quilting, people who do a lot of hand quilting, you kind of rock your needle to get your stitches even. It's a technique, and then you push it through with your thimble. That's what they're doing. It's just a different than your finger thimble.
Yeah. So thanks to Elaine, because we were, what does that look like? And Elaine Warren sent that photo. So thanks to Elaine for that. So I'm not going to buy that. I'll tough it out. But man, some of these needles, like the ones you sent,
they're long.
Man, these things. What did I say? It was like 3.
I don't know, a couple of inches.
2.5 inch long. I mean, that thing, you could hurt people with that thing. Jeez.
Right. Well, that's because you're supposed to take several stitches at a time. It's not just one stitch. You're supposed to run several and then push it through.
Okay.
So
So you
it's a
got to have
really
the long
fast
needle.
technique. Yeah, it's a fast technique.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember when Jennifer was doing some of those, and she got some really
Hmm.
cool. She did a bag or something. Yeah, it came out really
Yes.
nice. So
Yeah.
so that's the card deck. Then there's a third card deck that came up the other day.
Oh,
Okay, so I did a show coming up with Emma Homet of the Makers Marks, the Makers with an S, Marks with an S.com, themakersmarks.com. And she has her first book was needlepoint stitches. She's UK, but does needlepoint, so that makes her a rare commodity in the UK. So she had a book on needlepoint stitches. And then she went and made a deck of cards. I think they're 50 cards. And I was going to buy one, and she gifted one to me. So that's on its way from
nice.
England. So that was very kind of her. I think it's 50 cards. But the thing she did or suggested that I thought was a great idea for guild meetings was to take those cards and throw them out on the table and throw some thread out on the table. And everybody sits around, pick a card, do the stitch, do something with the stitch. Now that's a
Right.
fun activity
Right.
on an evening when you don't really have a good program.
Right.
Yeah.
Or what came to my mind is I'll have to show it to you tomorrow. Um, I
Okay.
have I have on the we'll do it on the maybe we'll do it on the embroidery the Tour de France. Anyway, it's the state of Illinois, and I started it, and each little county is a different stitch.
Oh,
Well, that was horrible sometimes to trying to find a stitch. But do something like that where you just do a big square, and then you say, okay, today I'm going to do
this card.
this stitch,
Yep.
this card. And then you pull into your bag of stash, and the colors all kind of match, and you just use whatever thread you pull out.
Yeah.
It would be a way to challenge yourself to learn some new stitches.
Right. Right. And then you'd end up with a sampler in effect. Yeah.
Right, right. And especially if you did it the right size, you can make a little pillow or a bag out of it, or something, so it wouldn't
Right.
just be
Right.
living in my basement. Oh, in the basement.
Yeah. Not my basement, your basement. Yeah.
My basement
Yeah.
is where. Yeah. Hmm.
So that was the third card deck
Wow.
that came up, and the format of cards. Good idea.
We need one with embroidery stitches.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So comment if you know somebody who makes a card deck with embroidery stitches.
Yeah. Because it's just a handy thing, and the other part of it is when you're stitching, and if you have a book, especially if it's not spiral bound and you're trying to weight it down so you can follow the stitch, with a card, you can just lay it right on your work, right on your ground cloth, and refer to it as you're stitching to make sure you get it right. And
Right.
and so her thing is she's got a photo on the front is a photo. She's a photographer, so her photos are excellent. And then a diagram to show how to execute the stitch. And then on the back, then she has written information for how to do it. For I think it was 50 cards in that deck, and then she's got a second deck coming out. But just
Yeah.
handy format. It's a good idea. So,
Yeah.
yep,
I like it. Yeah,
yeah,
because when I did mixed media, some of the mixed media artists they had decks, and it would have like prompts, like um, today use your watercolor pens and do
oh,
something dreamy. So that whole idea of having a deck for embroidery is a great idea, because then you can, again, it says, well, I don't know what to stitch on this piece, but I'm just going to pull it on my deck of cards and
yeah,
try something.
yep, yeah, yeah. The
I
old what
love
if? What if this?
what
What
if.
if I did this one? Yep, yeah.
Right, right.
Interesting thing. I was looking up because she's in the UK, so for us in the States, postage becomes an issue. I just put in the Maker's Marks stitch deck, or I forget what I used. It was a modern stitch directory, needlepoint, a modern stitch directory, and 50 cards. So I put that in. Barnes and Noble.
Really?
Yeah, didn't even have to go to the big A. It was Barnes and Noble. There was a whole bunch of places that carried those for her. So there you go. Yeah.
Oh,
I
that's
mentioned
nice.
if you don't, Barnes and Noble doesn't care, but if you buy it from somebody who might be interested in needlework, mention Fiber Talk for that too. But yeah, and she's got a second deck coming out, so
Oh, that's nice.
yeah,
That's nice. I can see that being really handy.
yep,
Really,
nice
really
format.
handy.
And here's another one: young people who want to learn to stitch. Kids, here's a card. Follow the directions. Yep.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Here's some floss. Here's some pearl cotton. Here's whatever
Yeah.
piece of canvas. Go
Yep.
for it.
So really excellent idea. So check those out. So zollymakes.com for the Palette Scout color cards. Susan Briscoe, Snuggly Monkey is where I got them. I'm sure there are other places, but Snuggly Monkey for the Sashiko cards, and then Emma Helmut, the Maker's Marks, and I found and those cards were available everywhere, so she's done a good job of making them available. Uh-oh.
Now you got
What?
my little brain spinning. Okay,
Uh-huh.
take the Zolly cards. Take those. Okay, pull one of those.
Yep.
Match your thread
Yep.
colors. Then go pull your needlepoint cards.
Yep.
Project.
Go Beth. Right there. Yep.
Oh
Yep.
man.
2 card decks and you're off and running. Yep. Perfect. Yep. Excellent.
Stop.
Yeah. Yeah. So there's your enablement section of the show. Yes.
Yes. Because we got to do that every time.
Yep. And holy smokes, we're already we're done. That's it. Sunday Sue Reed, Tour de Broderie, 10:30 Eastern Time, Wednesday through Sunday while the Tour de France is going. Great fun. Sometimes, like this morning, it was a short one because the guys were racing. We actually had to start early because they were going to be done racing by the time our normal start time was done. But join us. If you can't join us, they're all recorded so you can watch them later.
Right.
Yeah.
That was
So
fun.
you might learn something about bike racing too. You never know. Could happen. All right.
Yeah.
We're out. Thanks, everybody. Thanks for listening.
Take
Bye.
care. Bye.